Welcome back, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me for today's explainer because we've got something totally wild to unpack. We are looking at what looks like a massive viral leak about the ending of The Boys Season 5. Now, for a show that's literally built on shocking twists, keeping secrets under wraps is the whole shebang, right? But according to this super convincing new theory, the roadmap for the entire final season has actually just been sitting right in front of us. Get ready, because we're going to break down this incredible detective work, and honestly, by the end of this, you might never look at a TV promo the exact same way again.
Okay, let's dive into this. So the craziest part about this whole leak, it doesn't even come from a hacked script or some rogue insider. Nope, it comes directly from the show's official marketing. The big question we're tackling today is, what exactly is hidden in the Season 5 promotional calendars? I mean, usually a promo calendar is just harmless marketing, right? It tells you when to tune in, and, well, that's kind of it. But in this specific case, these seemingly innocent promotional materials actually hide a massive detective-style breadcrumb trail, one that outlines exactly who survives and, well, much more importantly, who doesn't.
All right, to really make sense of this, let's establish our timeline. The calendar maps out a sequence of key release dates in April. We kick things off with April 8th for the big premiere, then move to April 15th for Episode 3, hit April 22nd for Episode 4, and finally April 29th for Episode 5. Now you're going to want to keep these exact dates locked in your mind, because they literally form the framework for the entire leak we're unpacking today.
Moving into Section 1, the bloodstain pattern.
So take the April 8th premiere date, for example. Fans started noticing that on the calendar for this specific day, there's a very distinct red blood mark just splattered across the date. And what happens in the actual episode? Well, it coincides exactly with the completely shocking death of A-Train. It's a wildly specific detail. We have a literal blood mark on the promo material, and boom, a massive character death on screen. Now, you might be thinking, okay, one instance could just be a total coincidence, right? Well, let's keep going.
Because this pattern actually continues right on to April 22nd, which is the release of Episode 4. Just like the premiere, this specific calendar date features a prominent bloodstain. And in the show, Soldier Boy violently kills his brother, Queen. So once again, the physical marketing material is directly correlating with a major, fatal event in the story. It's like a giant puzzle coming together.
Now, the contrast here is really what cements this whole theory. We already know April 8th and 22nd had bloodstains and gave us main character deaths. But look closely at April 15th. That's the release for Episode 3. The calendar for that day was completely clean. And the results? Absolutely zero character deaths in that episode. The absence of the mark is just as crucial as the mark itself.
So, the crucial point is, this gives us our definitive blood stain rule. The leak basically confirms that a blood mark on the calendar means a main character is absolutely going to die in that episode. For the rest of our analysis, we're treating this as the absolute truth. Blood means death, no blood means safety. Simple as that. Which of course brings us to a really suspenseful question. If we follow this rule exactly as it's been laid out so far, what in the world happens on April 29th? Because this is the very next date on the calendar, and honestly, it's arguably the most crucial one we're looking at today.
Which brings us to Section 2, the midpoint shock on April 29th. When we actually get to April 29th on this promotional calendar, guys, it's not just some minor little stain. It is a massive, practically page-consuming blood mark. If we're following our newly established rule, this doesn't just mean any old death. No, this indicates a monumental, landscape-shifting casualty.
And this is heavily supported by yet another piece of promotional material. So we have this standard, arrogant-looking promo photo of Homelander, exactly what you'd expect from him. But then there's a second photo, and this one is eerily styled with flowers and framing that looks literally exactly like a memorial portrait you'd see at a funeral. It is super unsettling.
So, putting all the pieces together here, we've got the Episode 5 release on April 29th, we've got this massive blood mark, and we have a bizarre memorial-style photo of Homelander. The theory reaches a completely mind-blowing conclusion here. Homelander dies early. I mean, think about it. The absolute center of gravity for the entire show is killed off as early as Episode 5. That is huge.
This completely changes everything we thought we knew about the final season. So I just have to pose this question to you. If Homelander, the ultimate untouchable bad guy, actually dies in Episode 5, who on earth is the villain for the rest of the season? We still have a whole bunch of episodes left after April 29th. This question completely pivots the narrative toward the real, terrifying climax waiting for us.
And that leads right into Section 3, the real final monster.
Let's break down this incredibly dark final arc step by step, exactly outlined by the leak. Step 1, as we discussed, Homelander is killed in Episode 5. But Step 2, that is the real twist. Butcher actually becomes the final villain of the series. Then, Step 3, totally unleashed and suddenly without his primary target, Butcher begins an absolute rampage against literally all the remaining Supes. And finally, Step 4, this rampage gets so catastrophic that it forces former bitter enemies, we're talking all the remaining Supes and the boys, to actually team up in a desperate final stand to stop him.
Now, how do we know this final battle is going to be that devastating? Well, we go right back to that calendar rule we established earlier. The promo calendar features incredibly heavy blood marks on the dates for episodes 7 and 8. According to the theory, these stains represent the massive casualties of this totally chaotic, desperate finale where everyone is just trying to survive Butcher's onslaught. The logic honestly stays completely consistent all the way through the marketing.
I want to wrap up this explainer with a seriously chilling quote taken directly from the leaked theory when describing Butcher's ultimate fate. It just calls him, simply, the real monster of this series. I don't know about you, but it definitely leaves you wondering who, if anyone, is actually going to survive the finale. Thank you so much for joining me to break down this amazing theory today. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for more clues out there, and I'll see you in the next Explain It.